Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I have two Filipino students. Welcome to today's video. Can you introduce yourself, your name, country, and your major?
Hello everyone, my name is Afia and I am a second-year student in the Department of Biological Sciences. And as Isa mentioned, I am from the Philippines.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean. I'm a fifth-year undergraduate student in the Department of Mechanical Engineering.
I mean, I know them already, but for your sake, I will get to know them again. So can you firstly introduce the Filipino community? How big are we? And how big are we? Context, yes, I am Filipino.
The Filipino community is a relatively small community. Students right now, like the number of enrolled, around 25 graduate students and undergrad students.
The first time I did this video, I said we were 18, so that's a significant increase.
Yeah.
So, more Filipinos on campus. You know that the Filipino community is small, so we can kind of imply that not a lot of Filipinos know about KAIST.
Yes.
So how did you guys know about KAIST?
So when I was applying for universities, there was this Facebook group of people in my high school, alumni basically, and they would post links or resources about the universities they were attending and if the universities were having their application seasons. I actually learned about KAIST from one of my seniors.
I was already studying high school here in Korea, in KSA, and it's affiliated to KAIST, so I know KAIST from that.
Next question is, how did you find the community, or did they contact you first?
In my case, the community definitely contacted me first. For freshman students, there's the mentor program where senior students help the incoming freshmen settle into KAIST. And luckily for me, my mentor at the time was already a Filipino student. When he emailed me introducing himself as my mentor, and then as a side note, he said, "Oh, I'm actually a Filipino, and if you want me to introduce you to the other Filipinos, just tell me your Facebook name and then I'll add you to the group chat."
For me, I had Filipino seniors who came also to KSA and went here at KAIST. So when I got admitted to KAIST, they already know me, so they introduced me to the community.
So how do you think the Filipino community helps you?
In my case, it was my first time out of my home country. So when I got to KAIST, I was in a whole new environment. Because I was hanging out with a lot of Filipinos, I feel like they made me feel comfortable in Korea.
Most of the support I got from the Filipino community was when I was in my first 2 years in KAIST. When I was making a lot of academic decisions, I went to a lot of seniors to ask for advice. They gave pretty good insights.
So within the Filipino community, what kind of events do you guys have?
I feel like because one, we're a relatively young community and we're not that big, most of our events, they're usually spontaneous.
Yeah.
So what we tend to do is we have this group chat with all of the Filipinos, and we just tend to invite people out for dinner, or if anyone is game to do any activities. I feel like that's where most of our get-togethers come from. But of course, because we're a recognized country community, we are required to have official events. The most recent one we had was the KAIST PH Strawberry Party. Aside from the KAIST PH Strawberry Party, of course, we had the formal orientation for any newcomers.
Although there's another big event that happened. It's not this sem, it was last sem. It's the KAIST 1 PH.
Oh yes!
Yeah, the KAIST 1 PH that we hosted. And that was the biggest event I could think of, because it's the first time KAIST 1 is coming back after 3 years from the pandemic.
And context, KAIST 1 is a culture sharing event where countries chosen by the KAIST 1 organizers get to present about their tradition and culture and also try the food. So if you come to KAIST, you should attend those events.
Because free food, and of course the exposure to different community, different cultures.
Yeah. And
definitely very fun.
I remember the question. Right, you reminded me with the food. Even with the Filipino community around, do you feel homesick?
I feel like homesickness just manifests in the form of missing certain dishes. but like, but there is like a Filipino restaurant in Daejeon that we
Yeah.
tend to go to.
Yeah.
So don't worry about not missing Filipino food because you'll have it in Daejeon.
Yeah.
And the one who owns the restaurant is very nice.
Yeah.
Since you're Filipino, you might get free service.
For me, I actually don't feel homesick. Because I think homesickness comes from missing out on the things you normally did back in your home that you can't do much here, or like the people you meet there that you can't see quite often. For me, I have a lot of ways to entertain myself, even when I'm outside.
And can you please advertise the Filipino community and KAIST to our audience?
Okay, so for the Filipinos out there who are very interested in like research or science, I feel like KAIST is a very good university to hone the skills needed to like get into great fields of research. So if you're interested in that, KAIST is a very good place to go to attend university. And for the Filipinos out there who are worried if they worried about like coming to a new country and like, you know, basically just entering a new environment, please don't worry because the Filipino community is like open arms for like any and every Filipino who wants to come to KAIST.
I mean, at least from my understanding, South Korea is generally not like one of the main countries that high school students go to or like choose when they look for colleges overseas. But South Korea itself is a good country. It's a rising like powerhouse in several tech industries and other fields of research. And among the universities itself, KAIST is the leading university. So if you really want to do well in a STEM-related career and you also want to have a cost-effective living lifestyle that won't empty your pockets for the next 10 years, I think KAIST is a good option for you.
It's free tuition.
Yeah, it's free tuition and you get stipend every month.
Yes, that's it, guys.
Yes.
Just come.
Go on, come here.
For internationals out there, we worry about other universities because you have to stay in that country for a while.
Yeah.
But for South Korea and for KAIST specifically, we don't.
Yeah.
Just come. We welcome you with open arms, like our country representative said.
Yes.
If you want to ask me anything
Yeah.
about the Filipino community or KAIST, you can add
Yeah.
on Instagram, somewhere around here. Anyways, thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!